Hey guys, Andrew Davidson here, and welcome back to another As Per My Ability video. If you like what we do here at As Per My Ability, if you like our content, if you like our videos, if you like board games in general, please do us a favor and do all that fun YouTube stuff. Comment, like, subscribe, make sure you hit the bell so you get notifications when we post new videos. We have new videos for you every single Tuesday. Today's video is going to be a longer video, but hopefully you guys can all hang with me, as today I'm going to be playing some board game trivia, and I want you to play along with me. So stick with me, play along with me, and let's do it. Let's play some board game trivia. For today's video, I thought I would do some board game trivia. So I went out on the internet and I found a couple of websites. I'm going to be using two different websites to do some board game trivia today. Hopefully I do well. I have not looked at any of the questions ahead of time, so we're going to be just going through this in real time. And I'd like you guys to play along. Hopefully we'll get some correct answers. Hopefully you'll get some correct answers. But we are going to do 18 board game trivia questions. Okay, so before we get started, I want everyone to know I have my laptop set up right down here on my lap, and so I'll be looking down to refer to questions, and so that's where that's at. I have 18 questions. Again, I have not looked at any of the questions, but I'm feeling good, I'm feeling spry, I'm feeling strong. Hopefully we can get 18 out of 18, right? Hopefully you'll play along with me and get some right answers as well. Hopefully this isn't a huge mistake. I mean, I run a whole YouTube channel about board games. I write a blog about board games. I probably spend 4 out of the 7 days of the week playing board games. I've been a guest on board game podcasts. Yeah, I better not mess this up. All right, so best of luck to yourself and to me. Let's get started with question number 1. Number 1, what is Amazon's best-selling game from 2020? Now, I know 2020 was like a big pandemic year, and so it's pretty obvious to assume that Amazon sales were quite high during that year. People ordering a lot of stuff that they would probably go out to get. When it comes to board games, though, I want to say Wingspan, although I know Wingspan was super popular and people were ordering a lot of it. I think that was probably 2 years ago. So I want to say Wingspan. And what does it say? Board game, so probably not an expansion. I know there were some expansions that were pretty hyped. People were excited about last year. I bet you it's something like Skippo or something like that, like something that would appeal to. But I'm gonna go with Wingspan. This is off to a really bad start. So let's see. Hasbro's Connect 4. Connect 4. Apparently that was the best-selling board game of 2020. Apparently people were ordering Connect 4 like hotcakes on Amazon because it was the best-selling. Are you kidding me? The best-selling, I guess, on Amazon. Oh. Okay. I'm 0 for 1. Let's go on to the next one. Number 2. What was the first board game in history? Now this one I'm going to have to think in my head for a little bit, because I'm thinking like first game in history has got to be like ancient civilizations. So I can throw out chess right away. Okay, so chess has been around for a long time, but not that long. Not like ancient Egyptian civilization, like not that long. Chutes and Ladders, which was Snakes and Ladders from India, that's another one. But again, I don't think it goes back to like ancient civilization times. I know Go, Mancala, Senet. I know those all kind of go back to like Chinese, Mancala, Chinese or Asian games. I don't think it's Senet. I want to say Go or Mancala. I'm going to go with Go or Mancala for my answer number 2. So, what was the first board game in history? Senet. Senet. I actually threw that one out like right away. 0 for 2. Hopefully you're doing better than I am, although these are really tough. These are like more informational questions, and so number 3, what is the first board game in the United States? Okay, so this again is going to go back a ways, and it says United States because I know a lot of modern board gaming came out of Europe, or Germany more specifically, with like Settlers of Catan and things like that. So what was the first board game in America? My knee-jerk reaction wants to say like poker, or some like poker game, some version of poker, or something that uses poker cards. But I don't know if that's really going to constitute as first board game in the United States. Oh boy. I'm at a loss for this one. United States, the first game. What would be a first game? Now I know chess, going back to chess, that kind of resonated in England a long time ago. Clue is also an English game. What are the big ones? Monopoly? Maybe Monopoly. I think that also came out of England. Let's go with Monopoly. This is the first game in the United States. Let's see what the answer is. Oh, the answer is backgammon. Backgammon is the first board game in the United States. I actually don't know anything about backgammon. I don't know how it plays. I don't know the history of it. I don't really know anything about it. Apparently it's an American board game, and the first American board game. Number 4, in the history of the United States, which board game was based on capitalism and materialism? Now this has to be like hands down. It's got to be Monopoly, right? It's got to be Monopoly. So Monopoly was invented in 1903 by a female, actually. Blanking on her name at the time, but yeah, she created a game. It was called the Landlord's Game, and I believe it did have kind of a message about the evils of capitalism. I believe there was kind of a little subtextual theme to it. So I'm going to go with Monopoly for number 4. District Messenger Boy? I'd never even heard of that. District Messenger Boy. Hold up. I'm searching this up. I've never even heard of. Okay, apparently that's a thing. District Messenger Boy. Based on materialism and capitalism. I've never even heard of that game. Show of hands, anyone heard of that game before? Not me. Well, 0 for 4. This is awesome. Number 5, Trivial Pursuit was first introduced by what country? So basically, what country? Where did Trivial Pursuit come from? It really comes down to probably England or America. I don't know if I want to get into like Germany, because Trivial Pursuit's a trivia game. So I want to say like America. I always thought Trivial Pursuit was just an American-made game. Like, it was made in America, and it's just now branched out into the, like, 15,000 iterations of Trivial Pursuit that you can have. But, yeah, I want to say America. Canada! So, Canada, Trivial Pursuit was made in Canada. No wonder it sucks so much. It must be terrible to be a board game made in Canada with America right there. Yeah, so I got bad news here. I'm 0 for 5 so far. I thought I would do better at this. Or I should have screened the questions. That's what I should have done. Number 6. In the classic version of Trivial Pursuit, what color is geography? I honestly don't know. Just like every other question we've done so far, I honestly don't know. I think Trivial Pursuit is a game of wait for your turn, wait for your turn, and then you get to go, I don't know. And then you get to do it all again and wait for your turn only to go, I don't know. So, I guess, having said that, I'm not a huge Trivial Pursuit fan. I'm going to go with green. Because I think geography, maybe they would put it like land, green, like grass. So I'm going to go with the color green. Just not based on really knowing the answer, but just deducing that they might put those colors together. Oh, so the answer is blue. Blue is the color of the geography category in the classic Trivial Pursuit anyways. I wonder if there's a difference. Because it does say the classic version, so maybe the colors have changed. Maybe they have changed up the colors. Maybe there is a version out there somewhere where it is green, and I am right. Maybe that's a correct answer, but it's actually not, because it says the classic version of Trivial Pursuit. So that is, I'm 0 for 6 so far on board game trivia. Yikes. Number 7 is a long one, so I'm going to have to just read it. In the board game, The Oregon Trail, there are 58 trail cards, 32 calamity cards, and how many supply cards are there? Well, I do have the correct answer to this one, and the correct answer is nobody cares. That is my final answer, and that is the correct answer. The Oregon Trail is. I would rather drink warm milk with lard in it than play the Oregon Trail card game. I would rather rip off the wings of a fly and let it dance around in the back of my throat than play Oregon Trail, the card game. I would rather take a sheet of paper and give myself paper cuts right there than play the Oregon Trail, the card game. But for those of you playing at home, the answer is 26. 26 supply cards. Who cares? 0 for 7 so far. Well, I'm going to 18, not stopping now, so let's go on to question number 8. Number 8. Which board game was the first board game made into a video game in 1979? Holy Moses. Again, I have no clue. I'm just going to have to go off of the stuff that they're... Okay, so board games, video games, and 1979. So I got to think historical period here. What would be a board game? First of all, video games in 1979 were pretty primitive, unless if you were talking about arcade games. Maybe was there a board game that was turned into an arcade game? Because the home gaming system, the console system, that didn't really come out until probably into the 80s. I'm guessing. I don't know the actual dates and names and figures and things like that. I don't know. Do you guys have? Does anyone know first board game that was made into a video game? Pong? That wasn't a board game before a video game? Fudge. Oh, Battleship. The answer is Battleship. I guess so. I guess you can kind of program a very primitive 1979 code to run the game of Battleship. But yeah, that's the answer, Battleship. Wow, that was not even on my radar, pun intended. I've not gotten a single answer right so far. And we're on to number 9. Let's do this. Number 9, the longest game of Monopoly went on for how long? Well, let me tell you something. The answer better be longer than 7 days, because one time, back in 1997, during a huge snowstorm that hit where I live. I was just a little kid. We were stuck inside for a whole week. School was canceled. We still have pictures of snow coming all the way up, passing our windows, our front windows. It was just ridiculous. No one was getting in, no one was getting out. Huge snowstorm where I lived in 1997. I was just a little kid, and my sister, who's just a couple years older than me, we sat down to play a 2-player game of Monopoly. And that gun lasted for a whole week. I mean, we went to bed and got up and played, and Mom brought us lunch. But there was no school. School was totally canceled. We played a 7-day game of Monopoly. I believe my sister won in the end. Actually, I'm pretty sure she won after 7 days of like back and forth. And now I've got all the money and she's got, I don't know, we must have been doing something wrong. So if the answer is anything less than 7 days, I have to write a letter to somebody somewhere. See what the answer is. 70 straight days. 70 straight days? 70 straight days? I'm curious, what were the parameters on this? Because 70 straight days, I mean, that's short of like 3 months. That's a couple weeks short of 3 months. So you're talking like 2.5 months of Monopoly. And it specifically says 70 straight days. Now, given the exception that straight is not referring to the sexual orientation of the players, 70 straight days, so they were straight for all 70 of those days. It means 70 like straight days, not consecutive. So, God, I almost want to look this up. Maybe someone has like some research on it. Guinness Book of World Records. I'm not going to do it. Someone out there on the internet, look this up. Tell me where it happened, what happened. Let me know. Comment below, let me know, because how do you play Monopoly for like 2.5 months without some kind of factor of like, okay, we're going to sleep from here to here and we're going to eat and bathroom breaks. Like, there's no way. It says 70 straight days. You've got to take like some kind of a break. You got to eat. You got to use the bathroom. Did they not shower for 70 straight days? I don't know. Someone look this up. Someone look it up. Someone comment and tell me what it was, where it was all about. It's probably like the dang Russians or something. I don't know. Number 10 is, what's the highest title for a chess player? I actually know this one. I've watched some documentaries on Bobby Fischer. I've watched Pawn Sacrifice, which is a movie, like a biopic about Bobby Fischer and like beating the Russians. I know this one. It's Grandmaster. Or wait, is that a KKK thing? I'm going with Grandmaster. Yeah, Grandmaster. Finally got one right. I'm on the board. It only took 10 questions, but I'm on the board, so 1 for 10. Okay, number 11 is kind of long. What is the brain-tickling trivia game where you must guess the link between 4 trivia-style questions? I know this one as well. Let's go. I'm on a roll. I believe it's Linky. Linkee. So double E. Linky is my guess. And that's because I actually own Linky. I've played Linky. There's an app where you can play on your phone. It's super fun and super addicting. Yeah, Linky. Let's go. I'm on a roll now. I'm getting them all. I'm getting the rest of them. I'm getting 12 through 18. I'm going to get 12 through 18. Another chess question. Number 12 in chess. Which is the only piece that cannot move backwards? Now, I'm not a chess player, but I do know how to play chess. A good friend of mine in the neighborhood that I grew up in taught me how to play chess, taught me how the pieces move, taught me what the winning condition is, the king and the queen. Just basic things like castling. I don't know anything about strategy. Nothing about what move, if your opponent does this, then you should do this. I do know from watching the Bobby Fischer documentaries that there is something about controlling the center of the board. That's a thing, and there's lots of different strategies. I believe there was a Netflix show about a female chess player, and they talk a lot about what these strategies, oh, you're using this strategy, or you're using the Kandinsky strategy, or whatever. I don't know anything about that, but I do know how the pieces work because of a neighborhood friend that showed me, and that would be the pawn. The pawn is the only one that cannot move backwards. Yes, I'm correct. Yep. Pawn is the correct answer. In chess, all the pieces can move at least one space. At least the king can move one space backwards. But the pawns are the only ones that have to move forward. I got another one in the books. Let's go on to the next question. Number 13 says, in which game are you trying to supply the most cities with power and purchase power plants and commodities to power them? Well, there's a lot of power in that sentence. I know this one as well. We're getting into actual modern board games instead of just historical facts and ancient civilizations. This would be Power Grid. Yeah, number 13 is Power Grid. Did you guess Power Grid? You probably did, didn't you? Number 14 is, what is the name of the bird-centric board game where you collect bird cards and can only play them in the correct habitat spaces? Well, I actually was talking about this particular game way at the start of this video. And as far as when it comes to board games and board games about birds and birds in board games, it's got to be Wingspan. Yeah, Wingspan. The correct answer is Wingspan. Did you get that one? I bet you probably did. Wingspan, designed by Elizabeth Hargrave, is an incredibly good game. It's really well balanced. It plays pretty easily. I've been able to teach Wingspan to new players, and for the most part, not the new players, they grasp it and they get it, and it's still got some strategy. And with 2 expansions out there, you can add in a lot more to your Wingspan game. I'm reinvigorated. It feels good to be on a roll. Let's get to the next question. Number 15, what is the name of the deck building game where you play as one of the great cities of the ancient world? Deck building game? So, Ancient Building World, I think of Imhotep, because that's all about building ancient pyramids and obelisks and Egyptian. But that is by far, that is not a deck building game. That is farthest from a deck building game. A deck building game where you play as one of the great cities of the ancient world, where you play as one of the ancient cities. Some civilization? It's not a deck building game. It's just kind of a 4X game. I guess I need to have some sort of an answer. I suppose Civilization, although there's nothing deck building about Civilization. It's like a 4X game. Okay, I call foul on this one. The answer they have listed is Seven Wonders. And now that I think about it, I'm guessing that someone out there probably said it was Seven Wonders. But in my defense, it's specifically, I was just focusing on the fact that it's a deck building. And Seven Wonders is not a deck building game. It's a drafting game. Even Seven Wonders Duel, which is the 2-player version, even that's a card drafting game. It's not a deck building game. So I get partial credit or something. Almost done. We've got 2 more to go. Number 17 reads, what is the name of the board game where players each have their own farm board and send 2 people to town in order to grow their farm and feed their family? This is kind of an interesting story. So I do know the answer, and I'll tell a story while you think of the answer. This is the first game that I came across as a new board gamer where the concept of feed your people was introduced. Before it was just these aren't people, they're meeples, they're chits, they're wooden pieces. But then I came across this board game that someone taught to me, and they were like, you have to feed your family. I was like, oh, okay. And as someone who likes a lot of theme in games, I like a lot of thematic connection, it made sense that, yeah, your people have to eat. That's thematic, right? Just like they would have to sleep, or in the game, you can actually have babies and have more people in your family, which just means, more mouths to feed. And the answer is Agricola. Agricola is basically sim farm, or farming the board game. And so, yeah, that's got to be the answer. Yep. Number 17, Agricola is the answer. First game where you have to feed your whining, stinking family, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. If you like farming, if you like the idea of growing crops or putting together pens with like cute little animals, this is a really good game for you. Okay, so on to number 18. Let's finish this one up so we can get on with our day and get on with our lives. Number 18 is, who invented Monopoly? Oh, this one is such a terrible question to go out on, because I literally just earlier in this video was talking about Monopoly. It was designed in 1903 by a female, was picked up by Parker Brothers in like the 30s, like 1936, I want to say, 35, 36, and then turned into Monopoly. So they changed it from the landlord's game into Monopoly. They introduced Mr. Monopoly, or whatever the heck his name is. I'm drawing a blank. I know it was invented by a female. I know the year. I know it was invented in 1903. I don't know the name. This video is going to go out with a whimper instead of a bang, because I don't know it. I'm drawing a blank. Let's take a look at the answer. Lizzie Magie created Monopoly. So a lot of people don't know that. I usually kind of throw that out as kind of an interesting icebreaker. Like, hey, did you know Monopoly was invented by a woman in 1903? In fact, most people know Monopoly. According to a study that I saw, Monopoly is the #1 most recognized board game in the entire world. And I think that might have to do with the fact that, well, A, there's like 50,000 versions of Monopoly, and B, McDonald's is all over the world, and there was a period where McDonald's was doing a Monopoly game. So I think between the two of those, that's why Monopoly is the #1 most recognized board game. Although, I'd be interested to see how kids would respond. Like if I set some Monopoly pieces out on the table in front of a 8-year-old and just said, what are these? What are these things on the table? You can pick them up, play with them, but what are they? I don't think the younger generation, I think Monopoly's kind of losing its staying power, but that's okay, because we've got a lot of great games coming in right behind Monopoly. I will never, ever want Monopoly completely removed from our world, our culture, our lexicon, but I also am not a fan. I don't have to play it. I don't really like playing it. And so there's just too many good games coming out. If you play Monopoly, that's awesome. If you love playing Monopoly, that's even better. Play whatever your heart wants to play, and I will support you in that. And I'm going to play whatever my heart wants to play, so laissez-faire, I suppose. How did we do on the trivia? Pretty bad. Let's see. Hold on. Give me a second to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, guys, I counted 7 out of 18 that I got correct. Did you do any better? Did you do any worse? Comment below. Let me know in the comments. Also, check into that Monopoly thing. 70 straight days? You gotta be kidding me. That's it for my trivia episode. Hopefully you had fun playing along with me. Hopefully you got some answers correct. This is where I'm going to leave us for today. Once again, my name is Andrew Davidson. You've been watching As Per My Ability, and I will see each and every one of you at the next video. 7 out of 18? It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Hey guys, I'm Andrew Davidson, and welcome back to another As Per My Ability video. We're just shaking out the cobwebs. We're just shaking out the cobwebs. Hi,